Absolutely. In fact, we're getting more developments also this hour. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has praised the efforts of President Donald Trump as Israel and Hamas agreed for the first phase of Gaza ceasefire deal, saying it was only possible due to Trump's involvement in forging personal and close relationships between partners in the Middle East region. He's also said the Gaza peace plan seemed impossible even a month ago, but was made possible with Trump convening a historic meeting of Muslim-majority countries, including Indonesia and Pakistan, during President Trump's visit to the UN on the 23rd of September. Rubio also mentioned the U.S. President met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu at the White House on the 29th of September and presented the Gaza peace plan.
Simply of Arab, Mr. President, I don't know if one day perhaps the entire story will be told about the events of yesterday, but suffice it to say, it's not an exaggeration that none of it would have been possible without the President of the United States being involved. It really began with your trip to the Middle East, where these relationships were forged with partners in the region, personal relationships, close relationships that created the foundation where all of this was possible. Where I think this really took a turn. Remember, a month ago, no one thought this was possible. Where it really took a turn about a month ago, less than a couple weeks ago, is when we were at the United Nations and you convened an historic meeting, not simply of Arab countries, but of Muslim-majority countries from around the world, including Indonesia was there, Pakistan was there, and created this coalition behind this plan. Then on that following Monday, you met with the Prime Minister of Israel here, and that plan was presented. And then, of course, our great negotiating team followed up on it. In the interim, again, perhaps the stories will be told, perhaps they will never be told. The President had some extraordinary phone calls and meetings that required a high degree of intensity and commitment and made this happen. Mr. President, I don't know if
Anand Singh continues to be with us on this story. Anand, this U.S. Secretary of State has commended Donald Trump's peace efforts.
Yeah, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has praised the efforts that were put in by U.S. President Donald Trump as Israel and Hamas agreed for the first phase of Gaza ceasefire deal or the 20-point peace plan. So clearly, he said that it was only possible due to Trump's involvement in forging personal and close relationships between partners in the Middle East region. And he further mentioned that how President Trump's trip to Middle East earlier this year has forged these relationships that helped in bringing this peace plan. And he also dubbed this peace plan where Trump convening a historic meeting of Muslim-majority countries, including Indonesia and Pakistan, during his visit to the United Nations on September 23. So Rubio also mentioned the U.S. President met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at White House on September 29 and presented the Gaza peace plan. So clearly, he lauded the efforts that were put in by U.S. President Donald Trump to bring an end to the Israel-Hamas war that has been going on for the past 2 years, in which over 60,000 people have died in this war. Back to you.
More updates.